Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Connect with Dr. D, where we inspire each other, transform our lives, and see the possible in the impossible. On this channel, you will get real stories from ordinary persons being extraordinary. I am your host, Dr. Denise Sawyerfat Angus. When last have you decided or even thought about just letting go of everything and going after your dreams? Today, you will hear from my guest who has done just that and has able to achieve one level of her dream that she thought that she never could. So stay tuned, subscribe, and stay with us for Let's Connect and the episode 1 coming up next.
Have respect for life, respect for life. All life matter.
So today I have the pleasure of interviewing a dynamic woman who has an amazing story of using her faith to move mountains in order to achieve her dreams. And after 20 years of being employed and being in service, she made a decision that she wanted to do something else with her life. She stepped out with faith in her purse and absolutely no money. She has an amazing story to tell you, so stay tuned. Welcome, Gem Antoine, Pharmacist Extraordinaire, to Let's Connect.
Hi Denise, thank you so much. Good evening to everyone.
It's so good to have you here. Tell me, I know that we spent the evening together at our virtual class reunion, our high school reunion. How was that for you?
It was fantastic. I truly enjoyed it. My only regret is that I didn't send a song for the karaoke so that I can sing, knowing that I can't sing. That would have been some fun.
Yes, that karaoke segment was quite exciting. So, when I sent out the flyer telling persons that you were a pharmacist, I got many messages. And there's a burning question that people would like to know about. And that is, what are your thoughts on the vaccines and vaccination program around the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay. For me, as a pharmacist, as a human being, as a member of society, I believe to each his own. And one may say that from a pharmacist, that doesn't give me much to hold on to, but I maintain to each his own. Because it's a very controversial issue, yes. For me, it is a matter of risk versus benefits. That's what makes more sense for me or to me as a pharmacist. Yes, I've had my first dose, not without much prayer and waiting, because as far as I'm concerned, if I was not supposed to have the injection or the vaccine, it wouldn't happen. And that could take us into a whole other area of discussion, right? But that is what happened to me. And I maintain that to each his own. You deal with, we understand what we want to do for the country, we understand what we want to do in the world, but at the same time, you have to make that decision based on your, I dare say, level of faith, level of understanding, and
Right.
risk versus benefits.
Right, great. We all know that there's no cure for the COVID-19. And in your area of the woods, being a pharmacist, what would you advise persons? I mean, even those who have taken the vaccine, because the vaccine is not a sure way of not getting it. But what are the things that we can do to bolster our immune system?
most important, apart from the normal what our Minister of Health has been saying in terms of Minister of Health and the other ministers, in terms of wearing a mask, masking properly, keeping your mask on at all times, and of course sanitizing, washing your hands as frequently as you can, maintaining distance. It is important. Simple things, your vitamin C's, your elderberry. You want to ensure that you keep yourself. I don't know if anybody noticed, but during the impact of the COVID at that main time last year, hardly many people didn't get the flu. And that's because everybody was taking vitamin C and zinc and D3. So that's it basically. Make sure you drink lots of fluids, keep yourself safe. If you have allergies and you're going out into the open and you know the Sahara dust is at an all-time high, take your allergy medicine. Don't leave it for chance, and take your vitamins. And I'm sure
Yes,
you'll agree with Dr. R.
absolutely. Vitamin C being at the top of the list.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I myself was very anxious, about family members who are not living with me, and really anxious about whether they would get exposed and, you know, how would I deal with it. I mean, I'm sure you've had anxiety living away from your father in
Yes.
Tobago. How did you cope with that?
Well, the main thing is my dad doesn't leave the house, and no, not many people come to him. Even when I visited him during the COVID period, I was very careful. Came off the boat at the time. I went and I had a shower, changed my clothes, shut everything, and I went to him. And I didn't stay for too long either. And I wasn't too physical as I normally would be with him. So he was kept at home. My brothers would take care of him and ensure that he was not coming out. If he was coming out, he would go for a ride with them, stay in the vehicle, and not go out much. So I understand that anxiety, but what I could do, even my uncles and family members in another part of Trinidad, I couldn't go beyond their gate because of for fear of the risk of me carrying it to them. So even though I was being safe. So basically, it's just a matter of keeping them safe, ensuring that they follow and adhere to the guidelines that the company stated. So it wasn't too bad.
Good.
Thank God.
Now, I know we talk about your father being in Tobago. I want to share with Tobagonians that, your father is the very well known VJ DJ.
Yeah,
Many of us grew up in that time knowing him. Yes.
indeed.
So, you know, as we're talking about Tobago, Gem, can you share one of your most cherished moments growing up in Tobago?
Wow. Wow. That is really, and that's a good question. Nice question. One of my most cherished moments was um, time spent with daddy, going to parties and, well, fete, quote unquote, right? One of his two girl children, we would go with him to set up the music, literally set it up from the tweeters to the horns to the bass, set up the preamp and the power and the whole rack of music. And it was cherished. I cherish that time because it was a time when I got to know him the most. It was a time that he would spend with his two teenage girls that he was rearing, so to speak. He was bringing us up. There was no mother, any of our mothers at the time. At that time when we spent with him. So it was really a moment to be cherished, or moments to be cherished. Um, we would go with him, and if by chance we were to make a mistake with the music, well, we would have a problem there, right? But it would really be a lot of fun, and it was a lot of time out of the house, but it was time when we got to know him and he got to know us, and he got a chance to educate us in the ways of the world. Once he told me, just one more thing. Once he told us, he said, "I don't want to ever see you all dancing reggae fast with any man." Right? Understand at the time. I mean, no, I do, right? But yeah, that some of my cherished moments with time
That
with
was
daddy.
some good advice. So, viewers, don't forget to subscribe, please, and stay connected with Let's Connect. It's quiz time, and hopefully you can join and answer some of those questions in the comments also. So, Gem, what is your favorite food?
Soup, by far not soup. Any kind of soup, any day of the week.
Any day of the week. So, in Tobago, we normally have soup Saturdays. You're one
Yes,
who can eat soup every day.
every day, any day. It's my panacea.
Wonderful. And tell me, if you had to choose another country that you wanted to visit in your lifetime, what would that country be and why?
That would be Australia. Yes.
Okay, that's Australia sounds nice and far.
Yes. Far, different time zone, way different time zone.
Yeah, but it's really an intriguing place. I
Yes.
must agree with you that that would be one on my list also. Yeah. Now let's talk about your career. I know you finished O levels in Tobago and then you went on to A levels. How did you decide to take your next steps into the area in which you finally chose?
Okay. That was really my mother's choice initially. And in that she wanted me to do pharmacy, I guess from the day I was born. She died when I was 18. I came back to Trinidad after O levels, as you know. Uh, and then I went into A levels. She died in lower six A levels. And she always wanted me to be a pharmacist, so much so that everything she had me do in terms of, she had me actually meet an older pharmacist, older guy, you know, and that was a kind of relationship something before she died. Um, and then I also had an old second cousin, second generation cousin, that was her cousin that was a pharmacist. She actually built the house that I live in currently for a pharmacy downstairs, right? And initially I didn't want to do pharmacy, so I wanted to do some sort of mechanical or chemical engineering. And when she died in lower six, everything shifted for me. And I was already doing the sciences, but I focused on the sciences a little bit more. Because all of a sudden, but I knew that it was a part that God played in my life to shift me, to shift my thought patterns, to shift my path into pharmacy. So I started, and then I went into pharmacy, and that's where it began. And that's how it began, rather.
So your mother sounds like your mother worked on extreme faith, that she just knew that she wanted you to be a pharmacist and she knew where she wanted you to practice, so much so she put up a building even
Yes,
before you were anywhere near ready for that.
yes,
Wow.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
indeed, indeed.
Yeah. Now we are getting close to the actual sharing of the part of your amazing story about leaving your job with just faith in your purse and no money.
Hmm.
But before we get there, I wanted to share with me some of your experiences along the way that you think would have helped bring you here today.
All right. One main experience, and that would be um, 11 years after 1982. I was grieving. I grieved for my mother for 11 years. Yes, I still had one parent, my dad, and he and I are pretty close, and we shared a lot. But somehow I felt as though I had not gotten enough of my mother. So I grieved literally for 11 years. After the 11th year, or after grieving for 11 years, my life drastically changed. In that I gave my life to the Lord. He became my personal savior, and that changed the course of my life. Now, I always say that the reason I'm a pharmacist was because of God first, my mother, and the school that I went to, which would include bishops, of course, right? I believe that my path um, was changed primarily because of the word that my mother spoke into my life. You know, the scripture that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and he shall not depart. When he is old, he shall not depart from it. That rings true in my life in no uncertain ways. She trained me up in the way I should go. Both she and my dad, though it may have been separated, and that's okay. They both trained me up in the way that I should go. I have a lot of characteristic traits of my dad. My mother trained me up in the way that I should go into what she wanted me to do. She set it up. She set it up in such a way, Denise, that my godfather, who was like her brother, continued what she started when she died. And he would keep saying to me, Gem, open your pharmacy. I said, Uncle Boise, I don't want to do that. You know? So,
So,
yeah.
what I'm hearing is that out of adversity, you were able to put it into the hands of God, and that you pretty much always followed what your parents would have been telling you and guiding you. And in addition to trusted friends around that you could lean on.
Oh, yes. Most certainly.
Yes. Okay. That's
That's a,
nice.
that's a,
Now, let's show your dream to everyone, and we
Okay.
will share how you were able to do it as soon as we come back.
Yeah, yeah. Have respect for life, respect for life. All life matter.
Welcome back. And please subscribe to Let's Connect with Dr. D. Now, Jem, that name, Living Legacy, how how did you come up with that name?
Hmm. I am the living legacy of my mother and my father. That's the name right there.
Wow.
What I do through living legacy is as a result of what they imparted into me. And that's it. Yeah.
So, finally, tell me, what was it like leading up to that final day you said, I'm walking away. I don't have any job in my future. I don't have any savings, probably to just get me over the next month. But I certainly didn't have any savings to open a pharmacy. And yet, you did it. You walked away, zero money, and faith. Tell us more about that.
Okay. Wow. Um, at some point in time, based on what I told you, with respect to my mother, my father, and my uncles and godfathers and so on, godparents, how I got to the point of, yes, this is what I need to do. But all the time, I wasn't too sure. I registered the business in 2017, and I still wasn't sure when, but I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, based on different word that I would hear from people and word from the Lord through different people, that this is what you need to do. You need to open a pharmacy. You need to get a pharmacy running. I'm like, how am I going to do that? I don't have the capital. I know what it takes to open a pharmacy because I worked with Superfarm from the very beginning, the very first pharmacy, 8 pharmacies later, I was still there. So I know exactly what it takes. How am I going to do that? And the Lord ministered to me in different ways through different people and the different times. And this decision was made. I had to make that step. In other words, if I did not make that step, I would be operating in disobedience. One, I will not be accomplishing what I was put here on earth to do. I would not be accomplishing what I was supposed to do in life. So that caveat there is what propelled me to the point of saying, okay, Lord, you do it. You have it your way. Let your divine will be done. So it was easy, but I knew that it had to be done. And more importantly, I knew when it happened, I don't think I ever felt so happy in my life. Up to this day, every day, I feel as though, having opened just recently, as you know, I feel as though I'm walking in purpose. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. So there are no fears. There's probably a little bit of trepidation every so often, a little bit of anxiety, salaries coming up. Will we make it? We made the first salary. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I can't believe this happened. And
But I
I just stopped.
remember, Gem, you had mentioned to me that even though you didn't know how you were going to do it, you actually registered the name of the pharmacy from since 2017.
Correct. Yes.
So it means that even then you're putting some action to that faith.
Yes, indeed. I registered, but I was still working. I
Right.
didn't know, I didn't know. I was working on contract for the government. That's the job I was telling about that I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt was the final piece of the puzzle to help me get started, right? And so I was working, and then last year, at the beginning of COVID, literally at the beginning of COVID, February 2020, my contract came to an end. So I was betwixt and between, do I renew, do I not renew? Do I renew, do I not renew? Lord, what do I do? So, you know, probably not exercising as much faith as I should have, I sent in the document for renewal. Under normal circumstances, that will come back within a month. Or I would propel it along by, calling the different departments to say, okay, I sent in a document, what is being done, talk to my supervisor. I didn't do any of that. And I'm saying to myself, how is it possible, right, that someone has no job and or is not even seeking to get a renewal? How can someone do that? You know? And I'm saying to myself, I remember always telling people, always counseling people, if you have bills to pay, you need to have a job. you know? I always tell people that don't tell me that, you have bills to pay and you're going to be walking on faith. No, you need a job. Pay your bills and let God work it out. But God was teaching me a lesson. A clear cut lesson. Bills to pay, no job, let me do it. He said, let me do it.
But I was a bit intrigued by the story you had where, after you left and did not have your contract renewed and didn't know how you're going to do this pharmacy, but you just had a conviction that you had to get it done. And, you said that you had the voice that said to you through others, present it to your community and enroll your community, church and otherwise, in your vision and your dream. Tell me a little more about that.
Okay. So that started, so I got the word that yes, I need to start a pharmacy. No more work, no more renewal, no renewal of the contract. And I'm still there sitting, Lord, how is this going to be done? You said it's going to be done, but how is it going to be done? And my church community, the head of ministers, pastors in church said, well, why don't you present it to the church? So I'm like, why would I do that? In my mind, I'm telling you, and I told them this as well. Why would I do that? I don't understand. Why would someone want to pour into my dream? Just like that. I mean, they know me. Yes, I'm his brother. I'm his sister. I'm his sister. Sorry, you are my brother. Why would you want to pour into my life? So I did it, and it was amazing. I did not say, well, okay, I need you to pour into my life. I just gave the dream as it came, as it happened. I gave the vision. I wrote it. And I said, this is the vision that I have. And that was it. That was it. Money started pouring in from my brothers, from my sisters, from the community into my life, from friends, from people all over the world. Money just started pouring in, pouring in. We started phase 1 of the building. I mean, then we went to phase 2. And I'm like, wow, God, I don't believe this. Money came in from different quarters, literally different parts of the world, and different communities right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's how it happened. And that continues to literally fascinate me, because it's still happening. It is still happening up to the day that we open. Everything was poured in by the Lord.
And you opened your doors, just a month ago, isn't it?
Yes, just about. It's actually tomorrow, make it 1 month, 7th of June. Yeah, the 7th of June. We were trying to open on the 1st, but then we ran into the 7th, and fitly so.
Well, Gem, I have to tell you, that's really an amazing story, and I certainly hope others out there are as inspired as I am about your story and being able to achieve your dream, absolutely not knowing how you're going to do it, but just having enough faith and knowing that this is your purpose and it will be done. So
Amen.
Congratulations on that. But sometimes, persons on the journey towards their dream, sometimes they get distracted, they have despair. What kept you focused and motivated along the way?
My faith in God, His word to me, and that was it. His word to me. Literally, His word to me.
Did you have any other motivational tools that you use that you'd perhaps like to share? Any books or songs?
Throughout my career as a leader, as a manager, there were different books, of course. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Who Moved My Cheese, The 1 Minute Manager, The Outlier, many different books. However, I need to go back. I need to revert. I need to reiterate that the only book and the words from this book, and I have basic, stuff that I can share with you, but the words from the Bible and the counsel from the Lord is what kept me and what inspired me all along. I mean, a lot of times I'll be losing faith kind of thing. Many times I'll be like, gosh, but I wanted this to happen, and you're not feeling as strong. And then somebody will come with a word from the Lord, or they'll send me a scripture, or it sounds like it's a joke, but it's real, because I experienced it. So I can say that beyond a doubt.
Gem, if you had one word or phrase to tell persons out there who are struggling, on the road to achieving their dreams, what would that be?
I would share with them my scripture for this season. My scripture for this season, which is from Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 to 3. Allow me to read it for you. It's not very long.
Well, if you could sum it up in one word or just a phrase, it will be great so that we can wrap up.
Sure. Write the vision. Write it. Make it plain. Share it. And then it will happen. It will not tarry. It will come. It will come to pass. Just write it.
Great.
Don't think it. Write it.
Thank you. Thank you, Gem. There you have it. Folks, you now have that answer, that plan, that roadmap that Gem used to get where she is today. I certainly hope that you have been inspired by this story and that you can use pieces out of it to help you on the road to achieving your dreams. And so I invite you to subscribe and come back to us next Sunday. Let's connect with Dr. D. I thank you for staying with us and viewing this program to inspire each other, transform our lives, and see the possible in the impossible.